Okay, hi guys. This is actually the second day that I'm filming in bed just before I sleep with a really dim light. So sorry about that. But anyways, I wasn't actually gonna film today, but I was just reading The Mountain Is You, as I've mentioned in a good few videos. Um and it started speaking about trauma and dissociation as a form of dealing with trauma, and it just sparked something within me that wanted to talk about my experience, because honestly that's probably one of the most like prominent parts of my life so far. It was the most I struggled mentally. Um, I mean, on paper and according to counselors and doctors, I had anxiety and depression and stuff, but it wasn't that bothered me as such. It was the disassociation and the derealization. Um, yeah, that whole thing. And I just want to talk about my experience, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna rant. This is Cheddar. Cheddar comes everywhere with me. Um, Basically, I this is what I think triggered it. When I started experiencing it heavily in like year 8, year 9, I don't know, I was like 13, 14, 15, I mean, for years. When I started experiencing it, I had no idea why I was going through it. Now, all the work that I've done on myself and stuff, and like the books that I read and just the shit that I consume, I've kind of like, pieces things together that some experiences that I must have had obviously triggered this. And I think the most prominent one was my appendix bursting, which I did mention in a video the other day. But long story short, my appendix burst in year 7, so I think I was 12, and it was a big part of my life, which to be honest, I don't remember a thing, which also is probably a coping mechanism as well. I had a lot of time out of school. Um, I mean, I had surgeries that went wrong, and basically, I it burst, but we didn't know it burst. The doctors didn't even know it burst. They kept sending me home in like so much pain. And then eventually, because I had a pain in my back rather than my stomach, which is where you're supposed to have the appendix pain, and you're eventually did a scan, and their faces just dropped, and I got rushed to A&E, and then yeah, shit hit the fan from there. And I mean, you're supposed to die because when your appendix bursts, the infection spreads pretty quickly and then your system fails, whatever it is. I don't know the logistical terms, but I got very, 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 very lucky. My brother actually had a friend when he was young that passed away from his appendix bursting, but my body formed a like sac of pus around the appendix that stopped the infection from spreading, which is extremely rare, and I was extremely lucky. I didn't know this at the time. I had no idea what was going on, to be honest with you, on a lot of drugs for like pain medications and stuff, really strong ones in the hospital, and just yeah, I was there for a while. So this is what I assume must have triggered it, 'cause kind of as soon as I got better and started recovering from this and was like back to school and stuff, everything was just so different. I was just completely numb, robotic, autopilot. I just wasn't even fucking human, to be honest with you. And this led to my other mental health issues, and this led to me hating school. I literally was, I think I got so into my conspiracy theories as well because of this, because I was trying to make sense of this phenomenon that I couldn't find much about on the internet. Like, there wasn't much about it. There was a few articles, and I'd read it, I'd be like, Mom, this is me, like, I relate to this so much, and I'd write in my notes. I wish I maybe have access to that. I don't know. It might be on like an old iPad or a phone, but I would write like everything that I was feeling. I just couldn't make sense of anything. And I got taken to a few counselors and a few, yeah, like through the system type things. I had issues with anger and everything, but I never really addressed the dissociation. It was always like the sadness, so like the depression side of it. And nothing ever fucking helped, and I hated speaking to anybody because I felt so misunderstood. But I was obviously self-sabotaging and not trying to help myself either, but I was young and again I had no idea what was going on. So years and years go on. I eventually decide I want to speak to somebody about depersonalisation and what I think that I have. So I went private counselling, therapist, whatever it was, and I literally, the first time in my life, ranted like and just read out my notes and everything that I was going through, and she genuinely, I kid you not, turned around and said to me, I can't help you, I'm not a specialist in this, sorry. pretty much. Didn't refer me to anybody else, didn't, like, that was it. And that is, I genuinely think, again, that was a big moment. I walked out of there, and in my head I made an agreement with myself, you're never fucking opening up to anybody ever again, because I felt humiliated. Like, I'd literally gone and said all of this shit which made me feel insane. I felt insane saying all this stuff, like just the stuff where you don't feel real and you're looking at life from a third person perspective. I've not even spoken about what it is, but I'm guessing if you're watching this you probably know what it is already. And then pretty much got on with it myself, and like I've said before in a few videos, went down some bad routes and with different coping mechanisms. And I think I started, my form of coping was like hyperfixating on things and obsessing with things. So whether that was getting as fucked up as I can and being obsessed with that and taking that as far as I can, or tracking my calories and getting really obsessive with that and taking control over that. And yeah, I just needed control over something. I was just lost and I was spiraling, and whilst feeling so fucking out of it, and I was just making it worse for myself. And I actually don't know what moment it was where I was like, right, I need to sort my shit out, because I mean, somehow I got from A to B and I got from there to here, and I can't even pinpoint like what moment made me do that. I think I'm gonna put it down to solo travel. And then I did hyperfixate on like fitness and self development and all of this stuff, and was robotic in that sense. And then I acknowledged that was an issue, and now that's kind of the issue that I'm working through. Self care and self development and spirituality and healing, but in a like pure sense, in like a real sense, not just again ticking something off a list saying, okay, I've meditated this morning, that will get me better. Like, it's not, I'm not on that vibe anymore. I'm literally doing things to reap the benefits and to really feel the benefits, because slowly over time, obviously, all of this like obsessiveness and strictness with being disciplined and stuff has obviously helped me and pushed me in the right direction. But again, I still felt like it wasn't doing the job. So that's pretty much the stage I'm at now. Where am I at with dissociation? I don't know. I am definitely not as bad as I used to be, but I don't know whether that's because I've just gotten used to this feeling. But I think I've found different ways to like feel in tune and tap in and ground, and I've actually learned like what grounding actually is. And I do think when it comes to situations, any form of stress, any form of anxiety, I will just disassociate again. Like, that's just my body's automatic reaction. But I'm just a lot better now at pulling myself out of that and having it be like incremental rather than my pure state of consciousness. Because I was just disassociated all day, every day, from like, yeah, morning to night. I just wasn't a real fucking human. I didn't, yeah. I just wanted to talk about it because it just came up kind of in the book. It didn't come up, but like it triggered that thought. And I guess where I can leave this off is that I'm doing so much better, and I'm so grateful for myself. That sounds so up my own ass, but I really am. And like, obviously there are days where I never think I'm doing enough, or I don't even realize how far I've come. But fuck me, like even just talking about this and remembering this stuff. Okay, that's my experience with it. Dissociation, depersonalisation, derealisation, all of that shebang. So, yeah. I will see you tomorrow. I love my little new microphone. Bye.